Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Just ahead, we talk with the general manager at Bayway, Lincoln Stahl, about the current status of the new and used car vehicle markets. We need more. Jeff will tout his pre-owned car of the week, the 2019 Mustang EcoBoost. We got the racing calendar. Conrad has his car clinic, and we'll also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on this edition of In Wheel Time. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff
We
Zekin.
do.
I'm Don Armstrong.
Because nobody else wants to be.
No, they don't. Yeah, run, Forrest.
Right, yeah. A box of chocolate.
Anyway, time now to visit with general manager of one of the local dealerships, premier dealerships, Bayway. And joining us right now is Lincoln Stahl. He's GM of the Chevy Store, the Lincoln Store, and the Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chrysler Store.
Wow, that's
Lincoln,
a lot.
hey, buddy, it's good to talk to you. Good to see you.
We doing, fellas?
Well, we're doing
Long
good.
time no see.
I know. You've been doing okay?
Yeah. I've been shaking and moving, and getting the kids through summer and trying to survive the ever-changing world of the automotive business.
Well, I noticed that you've got a little less hair than you did last time because I'm sure that you're pulling it out trying to find cars to sell.
That's daily. It's a daily. It's actually really since, going back to last year, and it's changed, obviously. The reasoning has changed, but it seems like going back to last year, my job description changed. And, going back to last year, I designate an hour a day, just literally cold calling other dealerships, trying to see if anybody wants to sell inventory.
Boy, that's a throwback.
Really?
Man, I'll tell you, I flew over, I guess, the Chevy Store a couple days ago, and I noticed that there sure is a lot of concrete showing. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, that lot, I think before COVID, we typically ran with around, if 600 to 650 new cars and probably 200 used cars is what that lot usually had.
Yep.
It would spike up a little bit more going into like the spring season and whatnot like that, going into the winter. But it's been a struggle at Chevy to stock more than 60 on the ground.
Wow.
And now you got the thing I tell people is, everyone's like, when's it going to be over? And I tell people it'll be at least a year, because you got to understand, even if the manufacturer ramped up and started, if they had the parts and they ramped up and started making vehicles for 3 shifts a day, which who knows if they would do or not. But even if they did that, you got to remember, when they start shipping these vehicles, the reason we can't get inventory, even though we're getting some vehicles in, we can't get any inventory in stock, is because the demand is still higher than what they're able to ship. So most times at all 3 dealerships, I have vehicles coming, and there's a good majority of them that are sold with deposits, retail agreements signed, and the customer's waiting for their car to come off the truck.
And I assume that it's not necessarily customers that have ordered cars from the factory. They'll just take whatever you got coming.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where they come in, you put eyes on the lot, and it depends on everyone's needs, right? Like if you need something, if you, God forbid, had an accident or something happened to your vehicle or whatever it may be, if you need something, then it seems like most times people have to settle or make some concessions for what their dream vehicle was, per se. Occasionally, if I have a friend will reach out to me or whatever and say, hey, I want a Tahoe, and I'll look real quick, and there's nothing available, and I just tell them, let's just order you one, because they might have their vehicle still, and they're not in need of one. They want one.
Yeah, they don't have an immediate need.
But
so that way we can order it and still get them exactly what they want.
Yeah, but that's not something you're going to have on your lot available to show somebody. It's going to show up on a truck, and you're going to deliver it out. So it's here and gone that quick.
Well, to that point, Lincoln, you said you spend an hour a day cold calling other dealerships. If I come in there and you don't have something on the ground, would you call another dealership to find me a vehicle?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's always been a deal. That's been a thing that, we all have our trading partners, and there's always been a little bit of, for the most part, most of the dealerships will trade back and forth, and, it's kind of a I help you.
Gentleman's agreement, yeah.
Yeah. But it's gotten to the point where, you know, you try and you call. Most times it's hard to find what someone's looking for, even at another dealership.
Yeah, and they're not going to give you a Silverado for the Bolt.
Right, exactly.
Come on.
So when we call, that's how the conversation goes. Before they can tell you no, you call up and you say, hey, I'm checking on, you know, this Tahoe at the last date of the VIN, you know, and you know, I got 2 Tahoes to give you back.
It's like the end.
I got 2 Tahoes for you to pick from. You know, I got a similar color to give you back or whatever. Maybe you got to tell them that because they're not interested in trading unless it's one of those deals where they have a vehicle sold and they can't get it and you happen to have it, and then it just works out for everybody.
It's like the NBA draft going on.
Yeah,
trading's definitely been a lot tougher than it's been in.
Well, and I heard that General Motors just announced that they're going to slow production on the mid-sized CUV utilities to drive all of the chip production to full-size trucks and utilities.
Yeah, so Chrysler did that, or Stellantis. I lose track of what they are nowadays. But Stellantis, I still call them Dodge, the Dodge store. But Stellantis did that. They came up with a plan, and their plan early on was we're going to take all of our chips and we're going to make Rams and Jeeps, which really made all the sense in the world. I mean, it's not, you know, I miss getting our you know, our Hellcats and our wide body Scat Packs and all that stuff, but the amount of those that we used to get was a couple a month, and we're one of the biggest dealerships around as far as the SRT8 program goes. So we definitely miss that, but the majority of our clients, you know, they're buying Rams and Jeeps. Right. So they were pretty smart, in my opinion, to stand back and take a look and say, okay, where's our bread and butter? You know, where are we going to be able to retain the most market share and or gain the most market share? Because you got, you know, the F Series and the Silverado, they're slowing down on those. So Stellantis did that a while back, and out of the 3 stores, and even if you look around the city, the Dodge stores, they have the most inventory. It's nowhere near enough, but we have the most inventory there. A couple months ago, I'd look from my office out on the lot, and I'd have 1 row of trucks, and they were turned at 45-degree angles. And,
just to make it look like there was more of them.
Yeah, I'm looking out there right now. We have 2.5 real rows of trucks now, so we have some inventory. So I think they're kind of spinning off of that, copying that, and it only makes sense. You're getting X amount of, if you're getting X amount of parts and X amount of microchips, let's use them on the product that we're going to sell the most, which, of course, is trucks.
Yeah,
do you ever wind up with a Chevrolet customer comes in and says, "Look, I want a fully loaded Silverado." And do you have anything? And you don't have anything. Do you ever send them over to the Dodge store?
Yeah, and the nice thing is if I happen to be at the Chevy store, I can walk them out and show them my Ram.
Yeah. Let me show you real quick here.
Yeah. Well,
no, I mean, it's of course, I don't want to take I don't want to take from my guys at Chevy, but my mind is obviously always on the group.
As well as serving your company. As serving your customers.
Exactly.
Correct. So mine's always on the group, and at the end of the day, we want to retain and conquest as many customers and have the we want all of them. We can't have them all, but we want to get as many as we can and take care of as many as we can. And if that means showing that actually happened before. I've had a lot of customers that in the past have leased Grand Cherokees from me, and the Grand Cherokee lease, as we were coming up on the new release of the Grand Cherokee L, the Grand Cherokee lease was no longer it wasn't a good lease anymore, because the banks are looking at it and they're going, hey, I don't want this thing back in 3 years. There's a new one out, so the residual values would be bad on them. So folks that have been leasing Grand Cherokees for 2 or 3 years lease cycles, they're coming in looking for their $400 Grand Cherokee payment, and we're telling them it's $700. And it wasn't a reflection of what we were selling the vehicle for, but what the bank had set the residuals at.
Right.
So there was a lot of people, a lot of close friends that came in, and I let them look at the Grand Cherokee, and we showed them the Cherokee and the Compass and everything else, and showed them what the payments were, and it was just out of their budget. And I put them in the car and drove them over to Chevy and sold them a Blazer, because the program was good on the Blazer. So it's one of those things I never want to take from one of the stores, but we want to.
But you don't want to lose.
Keep them in the Bayway family.
You got to look at the big picture, is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So
okay. Cool. Well, with that in mind, comes the question about used cars.
Uh-oh.
Is there such a thing on your lot anymore?
We have a bunch, and that's become an issue for dealers, and we all knew it was coming. So when new car production halts, obviously the used car market gets extremely hot. So, and you're not getting a ton of trade-ins because you're not selling a whole bunch of new cars. So the trade-ins kind of go bye-bye. So you're at the auction and you're buying used car inventory, and the auction's higher than it's ever been, and book values are inflated and values are inflated. And it's one of those deals. You're at the auction, you're buying vehicles, but you know that you need them to be successful and to keep going. But you also know at some time that bubble's going to burst.
Yeah. So you're upside down at the auction.
Yeah. So and we've done our best as a group to come up with a plan to kind of get ahead of that because we knew it was coming.
What do you give me for a 2001 Corvette C5?
That black one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good car.
Well, the other thing that's happened that I think has impacted the auction is the rental agencies, which were a feeder to the auctions. They're stopping as well, so they're not doing double and triple cycling.
Exactly. My wife has taken her car in for a little fender bender, and they told her to call the rental car facility before she made an appointment to guarantee she had a car. That's amazing.
Next time your wife has a fender bender, I have loaners at Bayway Chevrolet.
She's got it all handled.
But listen,
just saying.
But so the rental car companies, not only going through what we've gone through, the rental car companies twice in the last year have completely flipped the used car market upside down. Mm-hmm. So when COVID hits and people quit traveling,
they dumped.
They sell off their fleets. Okay. So they take thousands and thousands and thousands of vehicles and just jam them into the auction place, which dumps the value on all the vehicles. So going back to May and June of last year, we all got inventory on our lot, and they jammed thousands of vehicles into the market, which everything is supply and demand. So they drop the value. All the values drop on used car vehicles because there's now way too many for what the demand is. So we get through that. We go through, it's a couple months. We get through that. And now it's to the point where the used car market's coming back. And this was, 6-7 months ago. Well, then the travel ban restrictions get lifted and people start traveling again. And they had been turning away, the rental car companies have been turning away their allocation with the factories. So a lot of their cars come directly from GM or Ford or Toyota or whoever it may be. And the reason I know they were turning the allocations away, because I had my rep reaching out to me going, hey, I got these 20 vehicles, these 20 Silverados that Hertz had ordered, and they popped into the system, said they don't want them anymore. Do you want them?
You didn't hesitate.
So I was actually taking new car inventory into my inventory that was pre-ordered by the rental car companies. So instead of shipping it to them, they shipped it to me. So I know they were giving up their allocation. So anyways, the travel ban lifts and people start traveling. Well, now they have no vehicles. Right. So now they're going to the auction and they're buying vehicles. So now, and they don't care because they're gonna make money on the vehicle. They don't have to sell it. They don't have to worry about a book value. They're buying the vehicle. They're going to rent it. They're going to make money, and they're going to depreciate it over time.
So they're running up the price.
So now they're at the auction with their hand up. They just they get in the lane and put their hand up until the gavel drops. So they're running the prices up at the auction. But now it's to the point where there's a whole bunch of areas. You could actually, I had a guy text me the other day, a rep from, I believe it was Avis, and these Avis guys are going dealership to dealership trying to buy used car inventory from the dealership. So it's kind of funny. They're doing their business. They're trying to survive also, but it's tanked the used car market twice now.
What is your take on when this is going to end and try to get semi back to normal as far as getting inventory, not only new but used as well, and you're able to service the lease cars that are coming in, that sort of thing. What do you see for the future with the chips and all?
I think it'll be. I think by mid fourth quarter there'll be enough supply coming in where people will have to be patient, but they'll be able to get a vehicle.
So in other words, what you're saying is if you can wait 4 or 5 months, you should be good to go.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Like we're telling people now, you come, because this is another problem. So we've trained people for 100 years in the business to negotiate. Well, the problem is we also learned in second grade, about supply and demand. So if anything, anything in the world, if there's more demand than there is supply, then the deals aren't quite as good. So the manufacturer has removed a bunch of the incentives that they've typically had on vehicles, which makes the vehicle more expensive for a consumer. So what we've been telling people is, if we don't have the vehicle, you don't need the vehicle. Let's order the vehicle for you, and we'll promise you when we order it, we'll promise supplier pricing for you. So you buy the vehicle just below invoice. We'll promise you just below invoice, and then by then, there's due to be some more incentives out than there is now. There's no way that it couldn't be. So just the deal will be better, and we'll take better care of you on the vehicle if you order it. So it's if you're not in a hurry, I think the best thing to do is pop into the local dealership, order yourself a vehicle.
Yeah, and that.
Not to mention you got 22. They're starting to build 2022s here and there, and it'll be big. So at this point now, you can wait for the 2022 and get.
Yeah,
that
and if
also.
there's a hit to be taken, you'll take the hit rather than the consumer.
Well, and like you said, the manufacturer's incentives are declining because manufacturer's incentives is driven by days supply.
Exactly.
Well, your days supply right now is counted in days instead of weeks and months.
Yeah.
So there's no
we have
reason.
like Dodge. I probably have upper 20s day supply.
Oh my gosh.
Lincoln and Chevy. I've been operating for months on a 10-day supply.
Wow.
Yeah, that hurts. Okay, so let's move on to the service department. How are things going there? Gangbusters?
You have two issues in the service departments: parts supply and loaner cars.
Didn't even think about parts supply.
Yeah, the parts supplies have slowed down. Again, by manufacturer, it's harder on some things than others. But we try to. I got some good parts managers at all the stores, and I think they do a pretty good job of recognizing, what's going wrong with vehicles, and getting ahead of any recall that's coming or whatever to make sure we have parts in stock. But parts stock in general has dropped for most dealerships because they haven't been able to replace certain parts as they use them. And then there's a lot of parts. There's parts that need microchips to make the parts.
Right.
So when it comes to some of those parts, the supply on those is less. So where it might have taken a day or two before, we could overnight the part from, Arizona, and now it might take a week. And then, so the other problem that arises with that, we already talked about the rental car companies. We don't typically send customers to rental car companies. All of our stores have a rental fleet or a loaner fleet, and they're new vehicles that we use the factory program to allow our customer to drive another new vehicle while their vehicle's being fixed. But the problem is that inventory has dwindled also because those are vehicles that we need to sell to customers. So, for example, Chevy, I typically have 80 service loaners in stock at Chevy for customers to use, and right now we run with somewhere between 45 and 50.
Wow.
Well, and the beauty of the service loaner program that you're running is it's a test drive of the new vehicle while their old one's in the shop.
Yeah.
It's a hand feeding each other.
Yeah, and so like with Lincoln. Like Lincoln has the Black Label program, and if you buy a Black Label Navigator, you're guaranteed a Navigator loaner if you come in for service.
Right.
So you have to have X amount of Navigator. Now, some of the manufacturers have allowed us to start putting certified pre-owned vehicles in, which that fixes one problem, creates another one, because now I have a vehicle that I can let a customer borrow and convenience them and make them happy and take good care of them.
But you can't sell.
But I also got a used car that I paid too much for that's getting miles put on it and depreciating more. So there's been a lot of moving targets. But at the end of the day, obviously we're a business, so we need to figure out how to survive as a business, but we also trying to make our customers happy.
One final question before we have to let you go, Lincoln, is the fact that Ford is got apparently trucks coming out the wazoo sitting on their lots that they don't have enough chips for, and I know that they have offered a lot of dealers, I guess, a special deal if they'll let them ship these trucks to the dealer without the chip. How are you guys dealing with that?
So obviously we got the same offer with Lincoln. Luckily we have the storage room. We don't necessarily want those vehicles sitting on our front line and then a customer not understanding and getting angry that they can't take the vehicle and buy it. But we have storage lots. So for us, that's an opportunity for more service work, because when the part arrives, our service department gets paid by the factory to install that part. Right. So obviously we want to do that. And then and then we're not at the mercy of the factory waiting on 60,000 other people in front of us to get those fixed. And I was asking Chevy a while ago, why don't you guys start shipping those to us and then send us the part when you get it? Just drop ship it right to us. I felt like it would take a week off the delivery time, and Ford's starting to do it now. Stellantis is talking about doing it. So I hope that all of them start doing it, because like I said, I think if we have control of getting the things ready and getting them on the front line quicker, to me, I think that'll happen quicker than it would waiting on, a third-party company in a huge lot in Flint, Michigan, putting parts in.
And before I let you go, how did the wheelchair for Warriors thing finally turn out? We never got the final number on that.
Yeah, so just over $101,000.
Awesome! How cool is that?
Yep.
And it was really funny. I started off when that started. I was thinking 40,000, 50,000. I thought that would be a good job. As it went on, I was thinking, I think it's going to be higher. Then as the weekend got there, in my mind, I was thinking I want to make $100,000. And it was funny. We were totaling up after the show, and we were all exhausted. Had heat exhaustion and dehydrated and everything else. And we had counted to $80,000. But you got to remember, we're tallying cash and we're tallying donations that had already been taken in, and so we got to like $81,000, and I was almost depressed. And I was like, man, we missed it. And it was funny. I was sitting there with Crystal, who's the director of Wheelchairs for Warriors. I said, what's the biggest fundraiser or biggest, event you've had? She said, this is it by far. So that made me feel a little bit better, but I'm a guy that likes to hit goals and, go overboard a little bit on things. We're sitting there and I go, hold on a minute. I go, what about the online donations? Did you count that? And she goes, oh, I forgot to count that. So she logged in and counted. It was like another 20,000 and change there. So it was 101 and change.
How
that we
cool.
got to.
Well, Lincoln, what a great event, Wheelchairs for Warriors. I know that you're going to have it again. We hope we can be a part of it and help you guys out. And we sure appreciate the time that you've taken with us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care of yourself.
Yep. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You do the same. Talk to you again. Lincoln Stahl, he's the GM of the Chevy Store, the Lincoln Store, and the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Store for Bayway, Lincoln's, Chevy.
So contact them. They have inventory. They're buying used cars. Show up today, and they'll write you a check.
Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Zekin over here happens to have our used car of the week.
We do.
And we're going to talk about the 2019 Mustang with the EcoBoost engine. And don't turn your nose up when he starts to, EcoBoost, that's the 4-cylinder. Yeah, well, just listen to this.
I'm not going to do that because we do have a lot of Ford folks out there. We've got a lot of groups and clubs that I don't want to make mad. So here we go. It's a 2019 Ford Mustang. Numerous trim levels available. Y'all know what they are. No need getting into them, but this is a base model. This is considered a compact sport. Now, Don reviewed one that was a compact sport. Also, I think this is more in that line. It is a 4-passenger. Well, I say that with a grain of salt because it's actually better with 2, my opinion. So exterior changes and some not really changes, but they're all pretty much standard with the front fascia spoiler. You've got the chin spoilers on them. You've got the rear spoiler, deck spoiler, front fog lamps, driving lamps, striping you can get on it. That's a good-looking vehicle. And, again, this is a 2019. Very, very good car. Interior highlights, you've got the optional retro interior styling, so you can get the old-school Mustang look if you'd like. You've got the dual airbags, which is consistent with all the transportation safety. You've got dusk-sensing headlights, which are the LED also, which is coming at you. They'll actually dim, which is an old-school option. 6 speakers in the base model, and it's got an easy-to-use cluster display for the dash. I like the interior. It's compact. It's good. It's a good tight feel. And, we all like a good tight feel when we drive. So moving on to the engine compartment. It is a 2.3-liter 4-cylinder turbo.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
Because I didn't want to look at Conrad. 4-cylinder turbo inline EcoBoost 2.3-liter. I think I just said that. 310 horsepower at 5,500 RPM.
Make fun of that 4-cylinder at 310 horsepower. Hello.
I didn't make fun of it. You did.
I didn't. I just brought it to everybody's attention. Don't be dissing my 4-banger now.
All right. We wouldn't do that. The torque is 350 foot-pounds at 3,000 RPM. It is a 6-speed manual transmission, which I kind of dig. I'm grooving on that.
No kidding. Yeah.
21 in the city, 31 on the highway.
See.
25 plus is what I wrote down here, because you can get it close to 31 or better with the 6-speed. And with your foot and my foot, we probably could. 4-wheel ABS, traction control, Magna Ride suspension, Conrad. Don't know what that is, but it is there. Stability control, engine immobilizer, vented disc brakes, electric power steering, EcoBoost package. You're looking at 26 to 29 miles, or 26 to 29,000, depending on mileage and condition.
Really?
So there you
go.
go.
For the 19, up to $26,000?
Up to 29, depending on mileage and condition.
Oh, my God.
And
that's
getting higher every day if you listen to Lincoln.
Wow, that's I didn't realize that they're going for that
They
much
are
money.
going, yeah, they're good.
Ooh,
They're good.
For a used Mustang.
And that was a good-looking one I picked there, too. So I like the black color.
I like the 6-speed manual. I
Yep.
like the motor.
And the 4-cylinder turbo
And I like the
EcoBoost.
cloth interior, and I did notice that one had cloth.
Retro Mustang.
Time now for the racing calendar. Conrad has that.
All right, so this weekend is the Winter Nationals in Pomona.
Yeah,
Winter in July.
Why not?
Next weekend, NHRA is, on the 13th through the 15th, NHRA is in Topeka, Kansas. And then the 18th to the 23rd is in Brainerd at the zoo. What do they call that?
Well, it's the speedway up there, but there's a road course next to the drag strip.
Right.
And it's off to the side of the drag strip, and when they take those wide shots of the drag strip, you really can't see the zoo. So all of these people that have nothing to do all winter long create these creations, if you will, things like school buses that can been converted into a 30 bar stool bar. They take the entire back end off of it, put a bar down the middle of it, and put bar stools around it, and then they drive this thing around the road course that's out there in the zoo area,
full of patrons drinking.
A lot of drinking
so
done.
this
up
is
there.
an activity it's not like a race. It's just they pick up drunks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then, again, Labor Day weekend, the big go, the Dodge SRT U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis. NASCAR next weekend is at Watkins Glen International, always a fun race. On the 14th, they're going to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400. On the 22nd, they'll be at Michigan International Speedway. And then on August 28th, they'll be back at Daytona. So that's every weekend in August they're going to have races. This weekend is the return of Formula One with the Hungarian Grand Prix, and we'll see what happens in the Verstappen Hamilton saga.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, because Hamilton was trying to Verstappen.
Yeah, whatever.
And then
ask Jeff how he feels about
Get out of the
Formula
country.
One.
we talked about it earlier.
No, I'm not.
And
going
then August 29th, they'll be at the Belgian Grand Prix.
Kind of like Simone Biles.
I was just going there. You said it's the Spring Nationals or Winter Nationals. We've got the 2020 Olympics and 21. What's this world coming to?
Yeah, I know. And then also IMSA next weekend is going to be at Road America. And friend of the show, Alec Udell, will be racing there. And then they'll again be at Virginia International Raceway on the 22nd of August.
Nice.
Hey, I want to remind everybody that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts, they're available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break. When you're ready to shop Chevrolet, we know one that should be at the top of your list. Bayway. Locally owned by Houston-born and raised Daryl Wisniewski, Bayway brings a sense of family to your Chevrolet buying experience. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chevrolet is located only 8 minutes from the Beltway and Highway 288. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcomed like one of the family. BaywayChevrolet.com. Tailpipes and Tacos. Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in. Tailpipes and tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.